Have you ever noticed the days when life feels calm, eating healthy doesn't seem that difficult? You drink more water, you have energy to go for a walk, you sleep better, you don't raid the pantry at 10:30 at night. But then life gets stressful. Work piles up, bills show up, someone gets sick, your schedule falls apart, and suddenly you don't want chicken and vegetables. You want pizza, ice cream, cookies, anything that feels comforting. Most people think that's a lack of discipline. It's not. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. Today, I'm going to show you why stress may be the missing piece that's preventing your fat loss, and how making just a few 1% changes can dramatically improve both your health and your weight. Part 1. The Invisible Enemy. Imagine trying to drive somewhere while someone is quietly pressing the brakes in your car. You can push harder on the gas, but you'll never move as efficiently as you could. Stress works the same way in relation to fat loss. Most people think stress is only emotional, but your body doesn't care whether the stress comes from a demanding boss, financial worries, family problems, poor sleep, too much exercise, constant notifications, a packed calendar, traffic on your morning commute, or constantly worrying about what might happen tomorrow. To your body, stress is stress. Thousands of years ago, stress usually meant something dangerous was happening right now. Maybe you were escaping from a predator, finding food, or surviving a harsh environment. Today, the threats are different, but your body often responds the same way. An overflowing email inbox, a difficult conversation, unexpected bills, or weeks of not getting enough sleep can all trigger many of the same stress responses that helped our ancestors survive. Your nervous system shifts into survival mode, and survival mode isn't interested in six-pack abs, it isn't thinking about fitting into your favorite pair of jeans, or reaching your goal weight before summer. It's interested in one thing: keeping you alive. That's why trying to build healthy habits while you're constantly stressed can feel like you're swimming upstream. You're not just fighting unhealthy food, you're working against biology that's trying to protect you, even when the danger isn't actually life-threatening. Part 2. What stress does to your body. When stress becomes chronic, several things begin happening at once. Your body releases cortisol. Now, cortisol isn't bad. In fact, it's essential. It helps you wake up in the morning, respond to emergencies, and gives you energy when you need it. If you suddenly had to slam on the brakes to avoid a car accident, or sprint across a parking lot to help someone in danger, cortisol is one of the hormones that helps your body respond. The problem isn't cortisol. The problem is living with elevated cortisol all day, every day. Your body was designed to experience stress, recover, and return to balance. But many of us never fully leave that stress state. One stressful day turns into another and another, until feeling stress starts to feel normal. When that happens, sleep often suffers. And when you don't sleep well, you wake up feeling less rested, which means you have less energy to move, less motivation to exercise, and less patience to make healthy food choices. Recovery slows, your body doesn't repair itself as efficiently, your workouts may start feeling harder than they should, cravings increase, food high in sugar and fat become much more tempting because your brain is looking for quick, easy sources of comfort and energy. Decision-making becomes harder. Even small choices can start feeling mentally exhausting. Healthy habits suddenly require more effort. It's like trying to climb a staircase while carrying a backpack full of bricks. The stairs didn't get steeper. The destination didn't move farther away. You're simply carrying more weight than you realize. And until you take some of those bricks out of the backpack, every healthy choice is going to feel harder than it needs to. Part 3. Stress changes your brain. Here's something fascinating. Stress doesn't just affect your body. It changes how your brain makes decisions. Think about the last time you were overwhelmed. Maybe you had a terrible day at work, an argument with someone you care about, or you were juggling so many responsibilities that your mind just felt exhausted. At the end of the day, were you craving grilled salmon, a bowl of broccoli, a chicken salad? Probably not. Your brain starts searching for foods that deliver quick pleasure, foods high in sugar, fat, salt, or all three. Why? Because those foods activate your brain's reward systems. For a few minutes, they can make you feel calmer, more comfortable, or simply distracted from whatever is causing the stress. But notice what's really happening. The food didn't solve the problem. It only gave you a short break from thinking about it. The stressful situation is still there. The deadline still exists. The bill still needs to get paid. The difficult conversation still has to happen. Now you've added something else, guilt. You start thinking, I shouldn't have eaten that. I've ruined my diet. I'll start over tomorrow. Then tomorrow brings another stressful day. Your brain looks for relief again, and the cycle repeats. This is one of the reasons emotional eating can feel so difficult to break. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you, it's trying to help you feel better as quickly as possible. The problem is that it's choosing a solution that only works for a few minutes. That's why relying on willpower alone usually doesn't work. Willpower gets tired. An overloaded brain eventually looks for the easiest path to relief. The goal isn't to become mentally stronger than stress every single day. The goal is to build healthier ways to respond when stress shows up, because once you understand what's happening, you can stop blaming yourself and start changing the pattern instead. Part 4. Mindset matters. Stress is only half the equation. The other half is the story you tell yourself. Every day, something will go wrong. You'll miss a workout, eat something you didn't plan to eat, stay up too late, or skip your morning walk. Those moments happen to everyone. The difference isn't whether successful people make mistakes. The difference is how they interpret those mistakes. Imagine two people miss the exact same workout. The first person says, I failed, I'm lazy, I always quit, I'm never going to change. Without realizing it, those thoughts become part of their identity. If you believe you're someone who always quits, then quitting starts to feel normal. Now imagine the second person. They say, I missed one workout. That wasn't my best day. I'll go for a walk after dinner. I'll get back on track tomorrow. Same event, completely different story. And because the story is different, the outcome becomes different. One mistake becomes an identity. The other becomes a small detour. Think about driving somewhere you've never been to before. If you miss one turn, you don't decide to drive home. You simply make the next turn and continue towards your destination. Healthy living works the same way. One unhealthy meal doesn't ruin your progress. One missed workout doesn't erase months of consistency. One stressful day doesn't define who you are. The problem is that many people turn a single mistake into evidence that they can't succeed. But that's simply not true. One of the biggest mindset shifts that you can make is replacing the question, why do I always fail, with a much better question, what's one thing I can do next? That question immediately shifts your attention away from the past and toward your next positive action. The healthiest people aren't perfect. They aren't more motivated every day. They aren't more disciplined every day. They're simply better at recovering from the imperfect days. That's the mindset we're trying to build. Not perfection, progress. Not all or nothing thinking, 1% better thinking. Because lasting health isn't created by never falling off track. It's created by getting back on track a little faster each time you do. Part 5, the 1% stress reset. The good news? Reducing stress doesn't require moving to a tropical island. It doesn't require hours of meditation. It doesn't require completely changing your life overnight. It starts with tiny habits. Take a slow 5-minute walk outside. Fresh air, sunlight, and gentle movement can help interrupt the stress cycle and give your mind a chance to reset. Spend 5 minutes reading instead of scrolling. Sometimes the most stressful part of our day is the constant stream of notifications and bad news that never seems to stop. Practice deep breathing before meals. Just a few slow, controlled breaths can help your body shift out of fight or flight mode and into a calmer state before you eat. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude doesn't eliminate problems, but it helps train your mind to notice what's going well instead of focusing only on what's going wrong. Call a friend, pray, read scriptures, listen to calming music, or simply sit quietly for 5 minutes without your phone or any distractions. You don't have to do all of these, just pick one. Remember, we're looking for consistency, not complexity. None of these seem life-changing. In fact, they may even seem too small to matter. But remember, this isn't called the 100% diet, it's the 1% diet. Tiny improvements, repeated consistently, become remarkable over time. And sometimes, the smallest habit is the one that creates enough momentum to make the next healthy choice just a little bit easier. Most people believe fat loss is a battle against food. I don't. I think it's a battle for your daily habits. Stress quietly influences nearly all of them. It affects your sleep, your food choices, your energy, your movement, your exercise, even your relationships. That's why stress isn't just another health topic. It's one of the foundations that everything else is built upon. So here's your 1% challenge. Don't try to eliminate stress. That's impossible.
That's impossible!
Instead, choose one small habit this week that helps you recover from it. Maybe it's a 5-minute walk. Maybe it's putting your phone away before bed. Maybe it's taking 3 deep breaths before every meal. One tiny habit done consistently. Because when you manage stress better, you think better. When you think better, you choose better. And when you choose better, everything else in your health journey becomes just a little bit easier. I'll see you in the next pillar of the 1% diet.